My greatest memory of America, the greatest sight that I saw, the most moving and awe-inspiring sight that I saw when I got there wasn't the Grand Canyon or the Golden Gate Bridge or San Francisco, even though I was very emotional when I got there, and I had a few tears when I stood on San Francisco Bay eating peaches in the early morning. But no, it was when I got to New York City, and I just got into America, flew into New York Airport, JFK I think, or one of the others. LaGuardia? Is that a New York airport? Anyway, and I got the train into New York Penn Station, and I came out of Penn Station and it was nearly midnight I think, and I walked up the road and there was a film crew there, and there was this guy with a load of cables, a load of TV cables out the back of a van, and directly opposite the road from him I looked up this road and there was this most amazing sight of my life. It was the Empire State Building and it was all lit up, and I looked at it and I looked at this guy and I said, "Excuse me," I said, "Sir, is that the Empire State?" He said, "Yes ma'am, it sure is." And when I was a kid, the Empire State Building was the biggest building in the world, the tallest building in the world, and it's always been a real symbol of America to me, to the Empire State Building, and it's just so good to see it. And I'm going to put I put a little slide up, a little photo that I took of that, and yeah, I'm just thinking about that now, just a random thought that I had. When I woke up this morning, well, I say I woke up, I don't really sleep a great deal. I'm a real insomniac, and one of the big parts of my life is depression that I just battle with all the while. You know, some days are okay, other days aren't okay, and it's just a real part of my life. But I got up and I switched the computer on, I went to YouTube, and recently I've been feeling really despondent about the whole video vlogging thing. People don't watch the videos and don't leave comments, and they're not really very good videos compared to the videos that other people make. And somebody had left, there were 2 comments on there this morning, and they really lifted my mood, and I think that's probably one of the main things about YouTube for me. It's just so encouraging to see these things. You know, people write how they like to see your world and things like that. One of the great things about this beach is this huge expanse of rock pools or tide pools, and if you look at this is all made up of chalk. This is chalk bedrock, and you think, well, you know, where did this huge flat expanse of chalk come from? And then you look back there and you see these huge towering chalk cliffs, and the fact is that 10,000 years ago this piece of chalk down here was like that cliff. It was the base of one of those cliffs, and the end of the last ice age, all the meltwater ran off and little rivers came down and dissolved, and the sea came in, and it's just eroded this whole area and sort of left all this vast expanse of chalk. And I think that's really amazing. And what I like about these rock pools is the things that are in them, and I'm going to show you some of the things that are in these rock pools in a minute. Something else that you find on these beaches are these pieces of rock with these very, very neat holes drilled in them. You see? They have beautiful symmetrical holes drilled all the way through them. And they're quite common on this beach. And you might ask the question, well, how did those holes get there? Did somebody drill it with a drill? It's not so much who drilled them, but what drilled them. And these holes are actually made by a shellfish called a piddock. Now, I haven't been able to find the shellfish on the beach, but I will find a photo of one. And this shellfish has a very sharp tooth, and it drills its way into the rock, and that's where it spends its life. It just gets bigger and bigger and spends its whole life drilled into that rock. That's a cormorant, and he's caught a fish. You see he's got a fish in his mouth. It's too big for him to swallow. That's amazing. The ancient Greeks used to train these birds to fish for them. They used to put golden rings around their necks. Well, I guess they weren't golden, I guess that's just legend, but they used to put rings around these birds' necks and get them to go fishing, and when they come back up, the bird couldn't swallow the fish because it had a ring around its neck. Okay, I wish I had a better camera because this is probably my favourite bird. This is an oyster catcher. It has this terrific black and white plumage and a beautiful bright orange bill.